Hey, how you doing? It's the Civil Savage 76, otherwise known as Rex Knickerbocker. Um, Checking in mid-November. I just wanted to say hi to all my viewers, and I just kind of wanted to get right into it. Why I do this, why I find it important to talk about these very serious events, these issues going on in the world. I grew up in a town to get right to the point. I grew up in a state in a town that teaches men and everybody else to be weak cowards, to question nothing, to just go along with the official mass consensus of the mainstream narrative. And I'm just so glad that I got out of the state that I'm originally from, where liberty was supposedly born, but now the inverse is true, and you have people that want to burn the Constitution. They want to kill people. They want to burn things down, defecate on sidewalks, shoot up on sidewalks, create tent cities. The list goes on with respect to systemic policy failures in these deep blue sanctuary cities, which I happen to be from. I grew up around, I guess, what you could say is the world of liberal arts and you know ideology that is being espoused by what you could fairly say are democratic ideologues that have penetrated academia, especially at the highest levels, as a means to subvert the youth into becoming the mold that they want them to fit into, so that they can continue to shill for partisan issues. Um, and you know something? After years and years of hell, from being from a town filled with cowards and pussies and people who never dared to think outside of the box, I could even say the entire state. You know, there's a select few individuals that are A1 citizens. They believe in this country. They believe in America first. But that is dwindling with respect to the northeastern states and their overall political dispositions. Um, Now that I have gotten out of Taxachusetts, woke Shitsville, I'm happy how things turned out in my life. They turned out better than I ever thought that they could. I have a lot of things going for me today. I got a great job, great girlfriend, great place to live. I live in a state that's mostly free. You can open carry here. Um, it's just great. Like, living in the South, uh, more times than not, represents the embodiment of true civil rights that go unabated, despite the other woke states that want to implement things like red flag gun laws and gun control and gender solidarity and burning things down in the name of social justice. But in the end, it was necessary for me to grow up in such a pit like that to learn the lessons that I have learned now. Um, I grew up white trash, very poor, but I also still had like the latest gaming systems, the nice TVs, and that's mainly because I had a set of grandparents that are extremely wealthy. Um, they're part of the establishment, and they excommunicated me in 2016 because I didn't continue my higher education. But not only that, I went to the University of Massachusetts Boston. That wasn't good enough for my family, who went to Harvard and Radcliffe, which is women's Harvard, by the way, Dartmouth. Like on my mom's side, it's all Ivy League. Everybody's super elitist. I got the treatment, the psychological treatment at the dinner table. I was never good enough. UMass Boston is a barn. It's a place where the losers in the city go that aren't going to make it, according to my grandparents. Um, and I gave up a path that many people would kill for. If I took the path that the maternal side of my family wanted, I would be a millionaire by the time I was 26. I'm not lying. That's not even me bragging. That's not even to embellish anything. So why do I do this? Why do I go out and talk about things that are bad business to talk about? I gave up all of that, and I gave up a life of basically being a part of the Lucky Sperm Establishment Club in Boston. I had the whole chance at the uptown Boston life. And I turned it down because even at a young age, I was picking up on different themes in our society with respect to the tremendously powerful influences that basically govern our day to day affairs. It sounds weird, but I never wanted to be in the big club, I never wanted a seat at the high table, and for some people they want to be. I'm related to things that rappers try to talk about that they're related to, I'm related to that kind of shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I'm related to that, but I don't want to be. I never wanted to be. All I wanted was a normal life, and a normal life was anything but what I actually got. So I think that there was a calling for me to expose the truth at the behest of we the people, to make it known that our elections are not fair, our media is rigged by certain individuals, and we're going to get into that later. But like, I came from a place where men were taught how to be fundamentally weak. It's illegal to be a muscular white male. It's illegal to have conservative values. It's illegal to have a base. If you have a BB gun in Massachusetts and you post it on your Facebook, the cops are going to show up to your house in 5 minutes. Like, that's not a free state. That's a nanny surveillance cuck state. So I'm just so happy to be out of there. Because at the end of the day, I know that this entire world is run by Ghislaine Maxwell's best customers. And like, that's kind of where we're at today. So with that being said, I dig for the truth for my viewers. This is for my viewers. This isn't for my money. This isn't for me trying to gain any kind of clout. I do this for you, and I uncover truths that are going to be really uncomfortable for you. Because some of you in this room probably watched the recent Kanye interview with Piers Morgan, and you probably have some questions as to why Kanye would say the things that he did in the climate that he did, according to Dave Chappelle, who I also am a huge fan of. The Kanye controversy couldn't have come at a better time, because we need to get down to the fundamental differences between people who are actually Jewish and others who hijack the Jewish religion as a means to conceal a genocidal bloodline that traces back to something known as the Khazarian Mafia, a tremendously pedophilic and genocidal group of people with tremendous power that connects to the oligarchy, Zelensky, all the European Union puppets. Which leads me to the next thing, the FTX scandal. Biden and his administration have now been caught in a cryptocurrency scandal in which they sent cryptocurrency to the Ukraine to be laundered so that they could take that money and funnel it back into justifying further budget allocations to Zelensky and the Ukraine. And that is highly treasonous. That's highly criminal. I think that the Biden administration needs to face a tribunal. And if you have not yet, you need to watch My Son Hunter. I think that people in blue states are waking up to a lot of this corruption, but many people are still stuck in their own cognitive dissonance. They're so glued to the TV, the mainstream media narrative. What really needs to happen is Biden needs to be audited for all the money he sent to the Ukraine, because this is highly treasonous, and it's connected to everything from the Fauci-sponsored Pentagon biolabs in Ukraine that are gain of function, and the child sex trafficking that has been uncovered by Russian special forces, which I've covered rather extensively in the last few months to a year. There have been explosions on the Ukrainian border as of lately, and Russia denies responsibility for this. So with me mentioning Biden and his asset allocations to the Ukraine, why all of a sudden are these explosions happening? Russia denies responsibility for it at the same time. And then you wonder who actually did it. It's likely the Biden administration looking to cook up a false flag to justify further budget allocations to protect a country halfway across the world while your borders are open, fentanyl is coming through, MS-13 is coming through, and what they're going to do is they're going to destroy this country by buying the blue vote and by way of the influence peddling of the far left Democratic Party. Now, when I say all this stuff, many people think that I'm a conspiracy theorist and I'm this and that, and I'm a flat earther, which I don't necessarily, the whole earth, flat earth theory, that's something I don't really look into. But at the end of the day, when someone calls me a flat earther, what I say is the top of your head is flat, but I still do believe the earth is round. So there was a lot for me to unpack in these last few minutes. But what's going on in the world is very serious. We're looking down the barrel of World War III. We're looking down further nuclear arms races. And we're looking down basic genocide by way of government, by way of FEMA, by way of the New World Order. This is all very real. It's all very happening. And if right now you want to buy my hat for $14.95, it's an I Was Right hat. I'll wear that for the rest of the episode. But this is my crown of knowledge from now on. Other people called me a tinfoil conspiracy theory, but tinfoil hatters don't get myocarditis. So with that being said, this was just a short little rundown. I will certainly have more for you all soon. I thank you so much for viewing my podcast today. Thank you to all my viewers. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And as always, this was the Civil Savage 76, otherwise known as Rex Knickerbocker. I will have more developments shortly. Thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.